All right, so you have 1 positive and 5 negatives. I make 1 0 pair. I'm left with a -4. All right, so Muna, when I went back there to go do the attendance, Muna told me the saying. So in order to do adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, there's 2 sets of rules. So the 2 rules are the same sign. So if we have a negative and a negative, or a positive and a positive, the same sign you're going to add the numbers and keep the sign. So when you have those bigger numbers, you're going to add your numbers and you're going to keep your sign. All right, when you have different numbers, so you're subtracting and you're adding and you're subtracting, your signs are different. This is why it was important for you to understand absolute value. And when I say it, to me, it's kind of confusing, like the way that it's worded, but you keep the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. So if we go back and we look at -5 and we look at 1, which one has the greater absolute value? -5, right? Because the distance is 5 from 0. The distance is 1 from 0. So you would keep the negative sign, and then you would subtract, which would give us -4. So you keep the sign of the number with the greater absolute value and subtract. Now, there's one more instance that I need to tell you about when we're talking about adding and subtracting negative numbers. Now, this is a special circumstance, so I'm going to put a little star next to it. When you have a problem that looks like this, 5 minus -8. What this is saying is 5, the opposite of -8. And what's the opposite of -8? Positive. So when you have 2 negatives, another way that it's worded as not -8. And if it's a not -8, that means it has to be a positive. So this turns into 5 plus 8. So these 2 negatives, they turn into a positive. And so the problem becomes 5 plus 8. Now you have 2 positive numbers. special circumstance. You will see this. You won't see it often, but you will see it. Now I want to talk to you about the way you're going to see some things. So we have been taught that when I have a number in parentheses, that it means multiplication. But you're going to see problems for some reason in 6th grade because they're introducing negative numbers to you. They like to put negative numbers inside parentheses. So you're going to see problems. Does everybody have this? I can turn the page. You're going to see a couple things. So you're going to see problems that used to be 4 plus negative 8. They're going to put that negative inside parentheses like this. So if there is a operation before the parentheses, then it means it's a negative number. However, if you have a negative 2 outside parentheses of 6, there's no negative 6. There's no operation right here. See how there's nothing right there? So then this means multiplication. This means addition, but this one means multiplication because there's no operation between it. So that's that distributive property. So just be careful with that. And if you're ever unsure, please ask. All right? If you're like, oh, I don't know, because you're learning new rules. So there's going to be instances where old rules, they're gonna leave your brain. So if you're not sure, ask. Because I would hate for it to be you just misread it instead of it being your mathematical expertise. All right? So just be careful with that. Negative numbers, you're going to see them put inside parentheses. Does that make sense? All right. You're also going to see problems that look like this. When you see problems that look like this, don't get scared. Treat them like the problems that had the alphabet on them. Combine your like terms. So I have a positive 6 and I have a positive 3. I have a negative 2, a negative 5, and a negative 1. And combine your things that look the same. So if I have a positive 6 and a positive 3, how many positives do I have? I have 9 positives. And if I have a negative 2, a negative 5, and a negative 1, how many negatives do I have? 10. I have 10 negatives. Oh, no, that's 9. No, 5, 6, 7, that's 8. That's okay. Mistakes mean we're trying. I have a negative 8. So now I have a problem that looks like my easier ones from earlier. And if I have a negative 8 and a positive line, my signs are different. Which number has the greater absolute value? The positive 9, so that means my answer is going to be positive. And then I subtract. What's 9 minus 8? 1. So my answer becomes positive 1. You want to try another one like that? Yeah. Yes, no. All right. 4 minus 6 plus 3 plus 5 minus 1. Don't get defeated. Group them together. Put the things that look alike together. Segregate the data. group them together according to their value. So I'll give you a second to try, and then I'll come behind you. She needs to be like on the surfboard. So I'm gonna come circle my positives. What is this for? A positive. It's in the beginning of my number sentence. Beginning of my equation, so it's automatically implied. When I combine my positives, I have a 4, a 3, and a 5, which is how many? I have 12 positives. And when I combine my negatives, I have -7. Which one has the greater absolute value? Positive 12 or negative 7? Positive 12. So my answer is going to be positive. And I subtract. 12 minus 7 is 5. So my answer is 5. Guys, if I covered up this positive, notice it looks just like a normal problem that we've seen all our life. But some of you were like stressed out. But we've seen 12 minus 7 our whole life. Don't let the numbers scare you, guys. Don't let them intimidate you. Combine what looks the same and just walk the steps. We're going to go in just a minute. All right, one more, and then we'll do our exit ticket. All right, last one. -4, +3, -5, +2. And +7, -6. You're gonna combine the things that look the same. Which number has the greater absolute value? -15 minus 12 is? So my answer is -3. All right, you have an exit ticket in School City. After you do your exit ticket in School City, you have practice problems in Schoology.